Hi there, I'm Sarah from Great Days by Sarah, and today I'll be taking you through a yoga flow with a focus on our root chakra. The root chakra is found through the base of your spine, your lower three vertebrae, as well as your pelvic floor, and it builds the foundation for the rest of your practice, and we can take that out into the outside world, building a strong foundation for the rest of the year. The color of the root chakra is dark red, so anytime you're invited to close your eyes, or you can just imagine it with your eyes open, picture that dark cherry red color. Let's get started today in a posture called Thunderbolt. So if it's comfortable, tuck your toes, lay your feet flat on the floor, sit your hips to your heels, and find your length. Hands will start rested on your thighs. If it's comfortable for you here, begin to close your eyes, turn your intention inward, and begin to focus on your breath and that root chakra. Perhaps you can even envision as you inhale, you feel your pelvic floor lift up like an elevator. As you exhale, feel it lower slowly with control. If at any point you feel this in your knees or this just doesn't feel comfortable, I invite you to go into a comfortable seat and do what works best for your body. If you're looking to add on, bring your hands back behind your back, perhaps find opposite elbows, or even press your hands into prayer behind your back. Not sacrificing your posture, but sitting up even taller. We're here for 3 more breaths. Begin to lengthen the inhales and elongate those exhales. Focusing in on that red color of our root chakra. If you chose to have your hands behind your back, release them slowly and make your way into tabletop. Finding a few cat-cows. Your inhale brings your gaze up, your tail up. Exhale, round it out. After sitting on your feet, it might feel good to tuck your toes under in this and stretch out your ankles. And one more round. We'll come back to table, move your hands slightly in front of you, maybe even turn your hands out slightly. Press back and up to your first downward facing dog. Upside down letter V with your body. Feel free to pedal out your feet, maybe shift your heels side to side. But ultimately, find a bit of stillness, driving your heels towards the floor, even if they don't touch. I like, especially for your first downward facing dog of the day, to keep a tiny bend in your knees and focus on pressing back through all 10 fingers, driving my chest towards my thighs. Refocus on the breath. Your next inhale, gaze forward, take this first one slow, tiptoe those toes up to meet your hands for a forward fold. Feet can be hip distance apart to start. And we'll roll it up, 1 vertebrae at a time. Head's the last to come up. We'll find ourselves into mountain pose. Palms face forward, feet ground strong. Shoulders work down your back. And here's an opportunity to close your eyes and envision that red color once again. Redraw your attention to the base of your spine, your first 3 vertebrae, as well as your pelvic floor. You may choose to keep your eyes closed or blink them open. Inch your feet closer together, big toes to touch, heels are apart. Inhale, arms come up overhead, and clasp all your hands except your pointer finger, and we'll lean it over to the right. Hips are still facing forward, chest is open. Back through center and over to the left. Back to center, reach up a little taller, separate your hands, find your first baby back bend, pulling your elbows towards your sides, and then reshift it all the way up, tallest reach of the day, and sink yourself into chair. Hips go back, arms can come to your hips to start, just to make sure those hip points are pointing forward. Sink your hips back, you should be able to peek down and see your toes. Just the tips of them. Then relift your chest, tuck your tail slightly, and arms come back out strong. Utkatasana. Perhaps refocus on your pelvic floor with your breaths. Can you sink a little bit lower for 3, for 2, and 1. Folds us over. Inhale, nice flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, step back, ever so slightly to plank, and we'll hold. Either full plank or drop to modified. And no matter where you chose to be, lower all the way down to the ground for the first one. We zip our feet together, we tuck our hips under, and come up for our first baby cobra. Eye gaze is slightly in front, and lower it. And relift, maybe this time we take our hands off the mat, fire up through our back body, and lower. Perhaps do that again, or press all the way up to upward facing dog if your body's ready. Then we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. Focusing on your foundation. Is all your weight in the palms of your hands, or is it spread evenly through all 10 fingers? On your inhale, gaze forward, hop, step, or jump. We'll all meet back at the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Just for a breath. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, step back through plank. This time take it through your chaturanga. Maybe that means cobra. Maybe that means upward facing dog. And perhaps it means just going back to downward facing dog. Inhale brings your right leg high, hips face the ground. Curl in, knee towards your chest. Send it back. Curl in on the exhale, knee to chest. Bring it back. This time we hold, close to chest for 3, 2, and 1. Step it through. Drop your back leg, coming up to Anjaneyasana. Hands can be on your leg, all the way overhead, and even at the back bend. Gaze goes up as your hips sink low. Bring it back down wherever you were. Step it back to plank option, your flow. We'll all meet back in downward facing dog. Other side, left leg lifts to your chest. Send it back. Hips stay square. Knee to chest. Last one back. Knee to chest. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Step it through. Drop your right knee. Walk your hands up. And maybe they go overhead and add the back bend. Release it down. Step it back. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Thighs are off the mat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, feet come to the top. Your variation. Inhale, halfway left. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, bring it right back down. Inhale, halfway lift. If a jump is in your practice, maybe you jump back to bent arms, through a flow. Send your hips high, press them back. Downward facing dog. Just 2 breaths here. Refocus and find the depth of your breath. Reconnect with that root chakra, that bright red color. This time, lift your left leg high. It steps through. Windmill your hands all the way open to warrior 2. Deep bend through your front leg, strong straight back leg. Hands on your hips, sink them down. Make sure your shoulders are over your hips. Sink a little bit lower and then add the arms. Is your front foot pointing forward? And is your back foot turned in ever so slightly? Protect your knee. It should not be parallel with the back of your mat. Can you engage through your arms, extending them a little bit straighter? And then let's reverse it. Keep the bend through your front leg, reaching all the way back. And cartwheel your hands down. Take it through a flow or just head back straight to downward facing dog. Right leg lifts high and steps through. Open up. Warrior 2. Deep bend through your front leg, straight strong back leg. Turn your back foot in slightly. Shoulders over hips. Then extend your arms, gaze out by your middle finger. Are your triceps and arms relaxed? Power them strong. And reverse it. Reach forward, up and over. Reversing that warrior. Cartwheeling it down all the way through. Last opportunity for your chaturanga. Final upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Lift your left leg high and step it through just to stand it up. and widen it out to a wide-legged fold. All 10 toes facing forward. Hands on your hips with a nice strong back. Fold it forward until you can't fold flat anymore, and then let your hands go. Let your head hang heavy. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. Then you're gonna do a deep bend through your right leg, Skandasana. Perhaps your heel can stay on the floor. If it's lifted, that's okay. Hands come to heart center if you have the balance. Press open that leg and extend your spine. My left toes are pointing towards the ceiling. And I breathe. Skandasana. Challenge here to add the bind. My right arm wraps around and down. My left arm goes high, and I reach for my right hand behind my back, and then I try to open up my chest. Take any step along the way, or just keep your hands on the floor in front of you. If you have the bind, release it slow. Hands come back in front. Use them to walk it over to the other side. Deep bend through your left leg, straighten through your right. Each side's a little different, so treat it as an individual. My balance is not as great on this side. Hands at your chest, opening up through that knee. Find the balance, or keep your hands right on the floor. Hold here first, don't bind yet. Now option to bind. My left arm goes around my left knee. My right arm goes up and over. Definitely a more challenging side. You fall out of it like this, just get back in. Or maybe find the bind here in the fallen Skandasana. Opening up through your chest. Release it. You have the grip. Walk it back up to center, to that forward fold. Let it go just for a moment. Gonna heel toe your toes in closer for Malasana. This garland pose. So toes turn out, knees are wide. If your heels are not on the floor, you can always tuck a towel or a pillow underneath to make them connect. And then press your elbows on the inside of your knees, finding length through your spine. And then breathe. This is an excellent pose to reconnect with that root chakra. Go back to that pelvic floor. Focus on the base of your spine as you make your spine even longer. And we're here for 3, 2, challenge to stand, 1, bring it all the way up and relax it. Come on down, back onto your mat. Find yourself into staff pose, and all that means is legs are straight out in front, toes are towards the sky. Try to sit up nice and tall. And if it feels good here, stay here. If you want a little bit more of a stretch and your hamstrings can handle it, arms come up, back stays flat, and tip it forward. Find that tip until you feel like you have to bend, and then just let your arms fall where they fall. It's not a requirement to grab your toes. Start to walk your hands up your legs, roll all the way back down, and find yourself into a bridge pose. Feet are flat on the floor. Heels are close enough to your hips that you can almost graze them, maybe even touch your fingertips to them. Legs are parallel. Feet are facing the same direction. And let's lift slowly with our arms and these robot arms to start, pressing through your elbows, pressing strong your triceps into the floor. And can you lift a little higher? And I want you to envision your chest is chasing your chin, but your chin is running away just ever so slightly. Can you press a little bit higher, keeping your arms active through this? And then we'll slowly, one vertebrae at a time, release it down. Maybe windshield wiper those legs to release your lower back. We're gonna go one more time. This time, option to bind your hands underneath your seat. Press up through the bridge. Maybe interlace your hands underneath your glutes, and then walk your shoulders underneath your body. Lift your chin just slightly. And then picture your legs in the number 11. They're not in a V, either direction. Can you lift your hips a touch higher? And hold for 3, 2, and 1. Release your hands first, wiggle out your shoulders, bring it down, windshield wipe your legs. And then pull your legs gently into your chest. Rock side to side. A little massage through your lower back. And then when you're ready, scoot your hips to the left, drop your knees to the right for a spinal twist. Trying to keep both shoulders on the ground. Maybe your gaze can go over to the left. You can let go of the control of your breath. Just make sure you're not holding it. Then both knees come up towards center and switch it over other side. Hips go to the right, knees to the left. Gaze is to the right. If you're ready to close your eyes here, now's a great time to do so. Turn your intention inside. Maybe even picture that red root chakra. Bring your knees back up to center. One final squeeze. Forehead goes towards your knees. Maybe they even connect. And then send everything long for Shavasana. Set yourself up just for a few moments. Let the entire practice come together in this final resting pose. Begin to circle your ankles, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Then arms come up overhead for a good morning stretch. Like you're just waking up for the day. With your eyes closed, roll onto one side, resting your ear on your upper arm. And then when you're ready, come up to seat, trying to keep your eyes closed to a comfortable seat. Take one more big inhale together. Arms circle around and up. Palms meet at the top. Hands come to heart center. Thumbs maybe even press on your sternum. Do one more check-in with that root chakra. Thumbs come up, to your third eye, the space between your eyebrows, the site of intuition. And the bright light in me honors and bows to the bright light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me in that flow today. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, subscribe to my channel. I post one workout a week on Sundays, and I alternate in between strength workouts and yoga. Go have a great week.